You just showed a lot of grit with your story there, having your full-time job and then helping to run this company after hours. A lot of times you hear about, especially I think folks our age, you hear about side hustles. This is beyond a side hustle to maintain with a full-time job. So you talk about, for example, the one team member that was mailing instead of emailing. I would love to hear about some of the operational improvements that you implemented at Stateline. Because for us, for example, if we're acquiring an apartment community, operational improvements are the number one thing we're looking to do. And that can be, one example is rental applications. Instead of paper, we want it all online. We want it through our system where we can detect fraud and look at, credit score, all those types of things. What are some of the operational improvements that you implemented with Stateline?
Well, we started using email right off the bat.
That's a big one.
It was great. I had never done anything like this before. I was from blue collar, but I've never dealt with GCs. I mean, we're talking Arco, Brinkman, Clayco, big names in the St. Louis community, and then other GCs from outside of St. Louis. We just really hired team members that knew what they were supposed to do. I mean, I remember distinctly sitting at 360 with my wife and a friend of ours, and I was venting about all the problems that I was having, just telling her just how slow the process was and some of the issues that were going on. And she said, well, did you look at this? Have you looked into that? And I said, no, but why do you know all this? She's like, I've told you that I used to run my father's GC, my general contracting company, for 15 years. I ran the company. Why did we not have this conversation sooner? And she's like, I don't know, but here we are. And I said, okay, well, how would this work? I need some help. She's like, well, I've been wanting to get in as a consultant with a company. And if you want, I can act as your consultant. I can tell you where your holes are in your system and help put a system together for you. So I would love to tell you that I put the system together, but her and I worked together to do this. And so she got us organized. We brought on a full-time bookkeeper / she's got her CPA, but she was familiar. She actually worked for the competitor. So she was unhappy at that place. And she actually worked with Jesse, my managing partner that handles the operations. Those two worked together. They had a good relationship. And he said, hey, we really need somebody and you can work remote and you don't have to put in 40 hours a week. We only need 20. So she came on board, which was huge. And she started dealing with the lien waivers and dealing with the GCs, and then started managing our credit card costs because the employees in the field, I mean, we drop ship and then we mobilize. So we're all over the United States. They were running rampant, using the credit card for whatever they wanted, and we didn't have a system to check them on what they were spending money on. So we got that organized and had some checks and balance with that, and just held them accountable for the money that they were spending. We set up a per diem. We started using Airbnbs versus hotels, which saved us a ton of money. I mean, you got 8 guys staying in hotels. I mean, we were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on hotels a year. So bookkeepers in place. Fallon, my consultant at the time, she has 2 young kids, and she was looking for something remote, and it was already going well. And she said, what's your plan after this? I said, well, what's your plan after this? Because we could still use some help because I'm still doing a lot of it. And she's like, well, I've been interested in something full time. And we paid her a salary that she was really happy with and allowed her to work remote. And the whole idea was, look, you don't have to be on the clock 40 hours a week. I don't care when you work, as long as the work's getting done. Pick your own hours. We just need to make sure this is getting done in a timely manner so that we're not getting held up because you have to bill at the end of the month. And if we miss that, then we don't have another opportunity to bill to the next month. So we brought her on, and then she kind of took it from there. We ended up hiring, her and I worked together for about a year, and we ended up bringing on an assistant for her. And so our back end office, we've got, Jesse that handles the operations in the field. He's got somebody underneath him. Paula's our bookkeeper. She handles everything, and she does more because she's dealing with the GCs and lien waivers. Fallon is basically making sure that we're staying on track. She provides reports on we have a Monday call, which was huge because we weren't doing that. The communication, everybody was doing things twice because they were having conversations with each other, but they weren't having a collective conversation. So I said, we have to have these Monday meetings because everybody's all over the place. Everybody's doing the same thing. So the Monday meetings were huge. We would all get on, talk about the week. What do we need to finish up? What do we need to get done? And that really helped us get organized. And then just training. You know, the guys in the field, anybody with a pulse that wanted to work, we were bringing them on, but the garage doors are super technical. So they just start getting better. You know, we started actually training them. We had time. My operations guy, he had, we took off a lot of pressure from him because we built the back end office and he wasn't having to deal with the vendors and the general contractors all the time. So he had more availability to help train these people and really built a team. We run with 3 crews at the moment, sometimes 4. And I mean, we went from 2.5 in revenue to close to 10 this year. So in 3 years, I mean, we've had a lot of growth.